This is the year of the eagles. Believe it or not, God has a lot to say, and the Bible clearly says He does nothing. God does nothing unless He reveals it through His prophets first. God is releasing His eagles once again over America, His watchmen on the wall. They will warn of many things to come. Watch how God has orchestrated what He wants to happen and come to pass. It's not just a coincidence that an eagle follows a pastor from his home to the tree, that the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and God showed me specifically a cave filled with eagles that He was loosing. This is very encouraging. Check it out. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFN TV. And so this is the year of the eagle. If you've been wondering what's going on, listen, in so many different ways. And when you think about an eagle, you think about the prophetic word, the voice of God being released over America. And God, there's so many things that are happening, and it's going to happen, but it's God giving us insight about what to do, when, and where. Those who hear what the Spirit of God says to the church, what He talks about. And so I think about this. I think about, it was an early morning when Pastor John Kilpatrick of Church of His Presence was leaving his home. And what happened, as a matter of fact, I'll let him tell you. Check it out.
Let me tell you what happened this morning. Shock of all shocks. Came out my back door in Seminole, where I live. It's about 35 minutes from here. And there was a bald eagle on my back porch. Now, I'm not mistaken about it because I know birds. I used to raise pigeons. I know my species of birds. This was a bald eagle. He had a white hair, had white head with white feathers. He had white tail feathers. And whenever he flew, his wings had to be 7-8 feet, I would say. It was big. It was way out there. And when I saw that eagle, I knew it was a sign, and I just couldn't figure out what kind of sign it was. So my grandson, I didn't know it, but he saw it. And he said, as you were leaving the property, he said that bald eagle followed your truck about 30 feet above your truck. It just circled your truck all the way till you left the property. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Now, I'm not through. He said, it circled your truck. He said, us and those other construction guys is up there, and he said, we were watching it, and it was about 30 feet above your truck, and he said, it circled your truck. As you drove around, it followed you all the way out till you left the property, and it flew up in a tree and lit.
Is that so exciting when you hear that? When you think about it, at 2 a.m. the very same morning, a prophetic word was given by the Lord to Andy Sanders, specifically declaring that America, I'm sending my eagles up into the skies.
Wow.
John, you got to hear this word.
Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace.
This is the word that came out 2 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
when the eagle followed Pastor John Kilpatrick coming out of his home.
There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Ephesians 4:2-6. I have looked down upon my city, says the Lord. I am placing the eagles over my cities as the watchmen who tower into the skies. Every city will have watchmen on the walls, watchmen from within, and watchmen in the skies. I am sending my eagles up into the skies to see far out in advance in order to warn my people of distant trouble. As David faced Goliath, 1 Samuel 17, verse 50, as Moses faced Pharaoh, Exodus 12:31, as Joshua faced the mysteries and uncertainties of a new land for my people, Joshua 1, they were not afraid. They were with me, and I with them. Do not be afraid of your enemies who will try to strike fear in your hearts. Fear is not of my hand, nor of my kingdom. I have called you to pray. I have called you to stand at the gates of your city and seek my face, becoming a shield of protection for those behind you. I will be with you as you stand in the gap. I am using you as my instrument of peace. protection, and healing over your land. There are enemy plans taking place once again to disrupt multiple cities all at the same time, bringing dishonor to our land, chaos to our streets, and fear within the heart of our country. These plans must be stopped through the power of unified prayer and worship. Christians are to see and warn in advance of coming troubles. This isn't gloom and doom. It is God's ability to reveal the plans of the enemy to his people before they happen. Tragedy shouldn't be a surprise because someone somewhere will be warned in order to inform God's people. It is time to be able to hear and see what is before us at a much greater level than we currently are. As prophetic voices, we must speak into the nations, political realms, states, and regions where we reside. Natural battles are always won through power of prayer joined with unified hearts. I am sending my people to the front lines of the battle. While Jezebel was killing off the Lord's prophets, Obadiah had taken 100 prophets and hidden them in 2 caves, 50 in each, and had supplied them with food and water. 1 Kings 18 verse 4. As I have brought the prophets out of the caves during Elijah's day, I am releasing my prophets into the skies over America. That reminds me, you had a dream about eagles in a cave.
God took me into the cave right when he's about to release the eagles. I'll share it after this, but it's just powerful.
Man, okay. I am releasing my prophets into the skies over America to reveal that which is being said and planned way before it should happen. I will use my prophets to foil and expose the plans of the enemy. I will cause my soaring eagles to become like a shield of fire within the skies, a banner of protection to their cities. The enemy's plan will no longer be a hidden mystery to my prophets or my people. I will send my people to the front lines quicker than first responders can arrive on the scene. Prophets must rise to the occasion now. The years ahead will require the prophets and prophetesses to see and hear with greater clarity. They must speak exactly what God tells them, holding nothing back. God's people will become extremely sensitive to future events to where we will be there before the occurrence happens. As Christians, we carry the only true and real answer to any problem on earth. We have the authority, and it is time we use it properly. We carry the solution to a nation in crisis. I am unmasking plans and changing hearts. At the time of sacrifice, a prophet Elijah stepped forward and prayed, Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned upon the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. When all the people saw this, they fell prostrate and cried, The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. 1 Kings 18, 36 through 39. As Elijah stood in the face of the prophets of Baal and Asherah, so will my people stand and not be afraid. I am raising up the remnant, separating the foul breed from among my people. I will cause my people to become as bold as lions in the face of their enemies. Do not be afraid of those who wish to cause you harm. You will tread on the enemy that wants to destroy your land. Within your own eyes, you will watch deliverance with my mighty hands. Do not fear those who want to bring harm against your city. The Lord will change the hearts of some of your enemies, and you will find favor where you never had it before.
This is so awesome. Well, you just heard, if you were part of our program, you just heard this awesome prophetic word and prophetic encounter with Pastor John Kilpatrick. Eagles in the sky. Andy Sanders here at 2 a.m. in the same morning. You know, God's loosing his eagles over America, the prophets over America, and the prophetess over America. And they're in the cave where he's loosing them out, like in the time of Jezebel I was talking about. Well, guess what? That's exactly, the Lord took me into the cave. I want you to see this image right here. He took me into a cave and he showed me the eagles. Literally, they were tall. I mean, literally, maybe 3 foot tall, I guess is what they were like, you put them on top of something and they're 3 foot. It was like they were 6 foot standing there with me. And they were just lined up inside that cave. And they were there, of course, with all of our VFN KB television equipment, you know, covering the prophetic and what was happening. And all of a sudden I saw all those eagles just loose out over America. And they just flew out of the cave, actually. And there was like a hole like you're seeing right there. And so in that, the Lord showed me all of a sudden things, as soon as they flew out, America started going through difficult times. There was like crashes and things, rough seas, and just, it was just chaotic. But the thing about with God's people is, it's not going to be chaotic for them. It's going to be like a Goshen experience, because we were covering it with VFN, KB's, all of us, our media and all, were covering it. And we were on this boat, John, in the middle of rough seas.
Wow. And,
you know, helicopters were blowing up and falling into the seas and different things are going on. But we, even though it was rough sea, you think the boat would be going all over the place, but we were on the back of it covering it, and it was just smooth sailing.
Steady.
So the whole world was rocking, but God's people are not going to rock. And that's what happened when you look how God freed Israel out of Egypt. You know, Egypt was rocking, but Goshen was a nice, calm place, you know, and God was showing a difference between his people and not. And so the eagles is what Andy's talking about and what we've been talking about. They're there to warn, prophetically warn about what's going to happen first before it happens, because God does nothing unless he first reveals it to his eagles first, his prophets first. And so when God's giving you a dream and God's speaking to you, some of you have been speaking prophetically and people don't understand the prophetic, or they don't want to hear what God's voice is, and they shut it down or they create doubt. And you got to quit doubting the voice of the Lord anymore, because people who don't hear, they don't understand. And you have to speak with boldness, especially at a time like this. It's going to be very surgical things that are going on.
No doubt.
And don't speak from your own mind and your own whatever, but just if God's speaking to you, you know, we have a very important thing for you. It's at iabide.org. If you have not yet begun your abiding relationship with Jesus Christ, it's going to be difficult for you to define the voice of the Lord or not. And we have a simple plan for you. It's at iabide.org. You need to be abiding with him during these times so you can hear his voice and begin to live out what he's saying, but also speak out what he's saying. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFN TV. You know, a lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org. I'm your host, Greg Lancaster, and we're so glad that you've joined us. Don't forget you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download our app and sign up for our newsletter, The Torch, at vfntv.com. I've enjoyed our time together. God bless.